Welcome to the Temple of Truth, a sacred place for the soul to awaken to its divine origin, to pierce through the veil of ego and walk the path of inner resurrection. Follow along with courage and humility, for here, illusions dissolve, shadows are embraced, and the light of your true self is revealed. This is not a journey of belief, but of direct experience, a return, a remembering. You are not here by chance. You were called. Take a deep breath as we now dive into sacred knowledge, wisdom not to merely inform, but to transform. May it benefit your soul, illuminate your path, and awaken the truth already living within you. Matter, the human machine, understanding the body's true role in awakening. We live in a culture obsessed with the body, its appearance, performance, and pleasure. It's worshipped in media, measured in status, and judged relentlessly. We dress it, display it, pamper it, sometimes even mutilate it, all in service of the illusion that the body is who we are. But ancient wisdom reminds us of a deeper truth. We have a body, but it is not the only thing we are. The body is a vehicle, a marvel of biological engineering, yes, but still just a vehicle. It is not the driver, it is not the destination. It is the instrument through which the spirit experiences and expresses in this material world. To know this is not to reject the body, it's to place it in its rightful place. The human body, a machine with sacred potential. The body is a biomechanical machine. It has systems, nervous, muscular, endocrine, that follow precise laws of cause and effect. It reacts to stimulus. It can be programmed through habits. It runs on cycles. In many ways, it is astonishingly similar to a well-designed robot. But here's what separates us from robots. We carry within us a divine spark. Consciousness, soul, spirit. And this consciousness was given a body not to become enslaved by it, but to master it. To understand the body is to respect its laws, its needs, and its limits. But it is also to remember, the body is temporary. It is not the self. It is not the I. It is the house, not the owner. Most people identify with the body and suffer because of it. Why are so many people anxious about aging, obsessed with looks, overwhelmed by cravings, or exhausted by fatigue? Because they believe the body is who they are. If the body is tired, they think they are tired. If the body is unattractive by society's standards, they feel unworthy. If the body desires pleasure, they chase it blindly. But all of this comes from identification. The mistake of confusing the container for the content. You are not the body. You are the one who inhabits it. This shift in awareness is liberating and absolutely essential for spiritual awakening. Two common extremes, indulgence and rejection. Many fall into one of two traps. Indulgence, living only for bodily pleasure, comfort, and gratification. This path leads to addiction, dullness, and spiritual blindness. Rejection, viewing the body as evil, dirty, or useless. This can lead to shame, suppression, or neglect of one's health. Both are imbalances. The path of awakening teaches integration. The body must be honored, but also purified and consciously directed. It is not the enemy, but it must not be the master. The body as a temple, not a throne. When balanced, the body becomes a temple, the sacred instrument through which the soul can express beauty, wisdom, and love in the material world. But for that to happen, the mind must be calm, not ruled by anxiety or ego. The emotions must be purified, not driven by fear, lust, or anger. The sexual energy must be transmuted, not wasted or repressed. The habits must be conscious, not mechanical or compulsive. In this way, the body serves the spirit. And this is the key to all real transformation. The body must obey the soul, not the other way around. Purifying the human machine. To align the body with spirit, purification is essential. This includes fasting or mindful eating to remove excess and awaken sensitivity. Breathwork and meditation to awaken the nervous system and deepen presence. Transmutation of sexual energy, e.g. Arcano-Azeth, to refine vital forces into spiritual fuel. Self-observation, to catch when the body is leading you unconsciously. Service, silence and conscious movement, to bring the body into harmony with higher laws. This is not asceticism. It is not about punishing the body. It is about bringing it into resonance with your divine nature. Final reflection. You are the driver, not the car. Your body is a gift. It allows you to touch, taste, speak, move, create, and serve. It is part of the mystery of incarnation that spirit would take form in matter. But do not be fooled. You are not your form. You are not your weight, your age, your height, or your desires. You are the conscious light that animates this temporary vessel. So treat your body as sacred, not to worship it, but to consecrate it. Use it wisely. Move it with purpose. Cleanse it with love. And always remember, you are the being that drives the machine. You are the soul that the body was made to serve. The trapped essence, freeing the soul from inner chaos. We often speak of the soul as if it were whole, awake, and available to us. As if it were always in control, always conscious. But the truth is far more complex and more humbling. Our soul, our essence, is mostly trapped. Trapped in emotion. Trapped in thought. Trapped in fear, desire, pride, memory, identity. Trapped in 1,000 conflicting pieces of self. We move, we speak, we choose, and yet most of the time, it is not we who act. It is a psychological I, a part, a program, a false identity within us, one among many. We think we are one, but inside, we are many. This is the uncomfortable, liberating truth of inner work. What is the essence? The essence is the seed of our conscious soul, pure, innocent, perceptive, and divine. It is the part of us that can love truly, perceive directly, and experience God without dogma or belief. This essence is the spark of being, the psycho-spiritual energy that gives life to our body, mind, and emotions. But here's the problem. Only about 3% of this essence is free. The rest, 97%, is trapped in the subconscious, inside psychological eyes or egoic aggregates. That means most of what we call me, our preferences, emotions, anxieties, habits, are not the essence at all, but fragments of the conditioned mind. What are psychological eyes? These are the little egos or aggregates that live within us. Each one has its own thoughts, desires, reactions, fears, opinions, and memories. And they act like independent selves, taking over whenever they are triggered. When you feel rage that takes over your body, that's an I. When you feel jealousy cloud your reason, that's an I. When lust, pride, depression, or fear dominate your choices, each one is an I. Even ambition, attachment to identity, or spiritual vanity, all are forms of these psychological egos. These I's fight for control. That's why you make a vow in the morning and break it by night. You long for peace but stir up conflict. You seek truth but hide from yourself. You are not yet a unified being. You are a divided kingdom. Why we feel internally chaotic. This explains why we often feel conflicted, reactive, emotionally unstable, confused about what we want, out of control with addictions or habits, because we don't have a unified will. At any moment, a different I takes the wheel. One wants to evolve. One wants to sleep. One wants to love. One wants to run. One wants to impress. One wants to escape. You are not driving the car. They are. And until you become conscious of this, they continue to run your life. Most of our energy and identity is caught in illusion. This is the great tragedy of humanity. We live from the illusion and call it me. Your essence, the real you, is asleep inside these shells. It gets activated momentarily through beauty, pain, meditation, or deep presence. But then it's pulled back under by the ego, like a prisoner glimpsing the sky for a moment before being dragged into the dungeon. This is not poetic, it is literal. The soul is trapped, and liberation is a choice, not a guarantee. Inner work, freeing the essence from its psychological prison. The purpose of true spiritual work is not to decorate the ego or imagine enlightenment. It is to dismantle the false I and release the trapped essence. This requires self-observation, seeing the I's in action without identifying. Sincere repentance and comprehension, not guilt but understanding, mystical death. The prayerful invocation to disintegrate the ego through inner divine will. Conscious transmutation, redirecting sexual, emotional, and mental energy towards spirit. Presence and silence, allowing the essence to awaken in daily life. As you do this work bit by bit, the trapped soul returns to its source. You begin to feel more clarity, more peace, more freedom to choose, less mechanical reaction, a growing inner center, a quiet power that feels real. You are not the chaos, you are the one who can free it. It is tempting to despair when you see how asleep and divided we truly are. But this truth is not a condemnation. It is an invitation to awaken. You do not need to invent your soul. It already exists. You do not need to fake wisdom. It already lives within you. You do not need to fear the ego. Only observe and dissolve it. Your task is not to become your true self. It is to liberate it from the psychological prison built over lifetimes. The soul that remembers itself becomes a vessel of spirit. The being who is whole becomes a light in the world. And it all begins by recognizing that you are not the voices in your head, but the silent observer behind them, ready to wake up. And the spirit, the conscious essence, 3%, remembering the eternal within, beneath the noise of the mind, beneath the shifting tides of emotion and desire, beyond the masks of personality and the fragments of ego, there lives something still, something eternal. It is silent, but not passive, invisible, but not absent, hidden, but fully real. It is your spirit, your true self, your divine spark, your I am. This part of you has no fear, no doubt, no desire for approval. It does not strive. It simply is, radiant, present, alive. It is your direct link to God, the sacred core of your being. And though it's always been there, most of us have forgotten how to access it. This is the tragedy of modern life, and also its greatest opportunity. Only 3% of our essence is conscious. The rest sleeps, trapped in the ego. But that 3% contains all we need to awaken. What is the spirit? The spirit is not an idea. It is not a belief. It is a living, breathing presence. The spark of divine intelligence placed within you. Traditions have called it many names. The Atman in Eastern teachings, the inner being in Gnosis, the higher self in esoteric psychology, the I am in mystical Christianity, the monad in theosophy. But no label can contain it. It cannot be touched by fear, trauma, time, or death. It is immortal, the unchanging witness of your entire journey through lifetimes. And here's the mystery. Though it contains all truth, only a tiny fraction, 3%, is awake and active in most people. The rest of your essence, the soul, is asleep, scattered and fragmented across countless egos, psychological I's, attachments, fears, and false identities. The 3% that watches, intuits, and loves. This small conscious portion of spirit within you is what allows you to observe yourself objectively, sense truth beyond logic, feel real compassion, recognize beauty, seek freedom, long for God. Even if you're deeply identified with ego, even if your life feels chaotic, this inner flame still flickers. It may be quiet, but it's alive, and it's always calling you home. When you meditate, when you feel something sacred in nature, when you stop reacting and see clearly, when you love without needing something back. That's the 3%, the divine inside you remembering itself. You do not become the spirit, you are it. Many spiritual paths are centered around self-improvement, becoming better, more enlightened, more successful, more peaceful. But true awakening is not about becoming someone else. It is about remembering who you already are and returning to it. You are not a human being trying to become spiritual. You are a spiritual being, temporarily having a human experience. The work is not to build something new, but to remove what isn't true. The ego, the masks, the lies, the fears, so that the spirit can shine without obstruction. The work, increasing the conscious percentage. The real purpose of spiritual work is this: to increase that 3% and awaken the sleeping 97%. This happens not through fantasy or belief, but through self-observation, so the ego can be seen clearly, comprehension and psychological death, so the false eyes can be dissolved, transmutation of energy to nourish the inner being with spiritual force, prayer and meditation to commune with the real I am, silence and service to align your actions with truth. Each time an ego dies, a piece of the essence is freed. Each time a false self dissolves, the true self expands. Each time you return to the present with sincerity, the divine spark grows brighter. This is not imagination. It is initiation. This is not self-help. It is self-realization. Final reflection. The spirit is waiting for you to return. You may feel small, but within you is something vast. You may feel lost, but the light within you knows the way home. You may feel broken, but your true nature was never damaged. Your spirit remembers. Your spirit watches. Your spirit waits with perfect patience for your return. So stop trying to become someone holy. Instead, dare to look inside and see the holy flame already burning. Awakening is not becoming something more. It is becoming something real. It is not adding to yourself. It is removing the illusion that you are anything but divine. Let this be your reminder. You already carry the seed of truth. Your task is to nourish it, water it with silence, observation, sincerity, and love. And slowly, steadily, that 3% will grow, and what sleeps will awaken, and what was scattered will return, and the one you've been seeking will be revealed as you. You are not just a body. You are not just your thoughts. Beneath all of it lives something real, something eternal, the quiet truth, a sacred spark, the essence of who you are. And it has been patiently waiting for you to remember. If this message stirred something within you, I invite you to like, share, or subscribe. I'll continue offering these messages, not just to inform, but to help awaken the forgotten truth that lives within all of us. Until then, may you walk gently in light, and may your essence rise, fully remembered, fully alive.